to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, good morning, everyone. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Shaylee, is she here?
She'll come later.
Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and approve the minutes from last week.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we approve the minutes of May the 11th as presented.
May the
4th.
4th. May the 4th.
May the 4th.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, let's go ahead and do adds and abates.
Morning, everyone. This is John Versu.
Yeah, John, just a second. We're doing adds and abates right now, so we'll put you on here in just a second.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the ads or the abates. There are no ads.
I will second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Hi, Shaylee.
If you want me to do my spiel real quick.
Yes, we have Shaylee Shea here, Health Department Director. Go ahead, Shaylee.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, so we have 26 total confirmed cases. One extra one rolled in this weekend. 17 of those have recovered, so that's fantastic. And we just have one hospitalized. The second round of that Sunflower Foundation grant hasn't opened up yet, but I'm just waiting to hear about that. And then we're still in phase 1 of the governor's plan. Phase 2 is set for May 18th. So we'll find out hopefully this week if we're going to move on with that. Still encouraging everybody to use cloth face coverings or homemade masks. And then we did receive actually a really large donation of masks at the health department. So we're reaching out to local businesses and finding out if they want to come pick up some of those masks from us. So that's what we're doing this week.
Okay. Okay, any questions for Shaylee?
Shaylee, has there been any discussions? You hear bits and pieces from the state. Are they still thinking about opening a lot of these places on the 18th, or is there, I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, we're going to open, but we're still reviewing.
Yeah,
Are you hearing some of that?
the state won't come out and say anything to us, but the talk among health departments is that they're probably not going to have a choice to open on the 18th, I think, at this point. So I think it's safe for people to plan for the 18th.
Okay.
But we're getting the same response. Yeah, we hope we can reopen, but we still need to wait and see the next 5 days.
And then my other question was, going into phase one, the governor sort of had a press conference where is she going to do anything like that?
I don't know. It'll
She
be
said
interesting
anything?
to see. Yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't heard anything.
I think it was the Thursday before she.
Yeah, it was. And so we haven't heard anything. Again, when we ask, it's like, we don't know what we're gonna
Yeah.
do. We have to wait till the last minute. So
Because I think there are a lot of people that would like a little bit of a heads up before
yeah,
they get thrown in.
Well, yeah, especially for scheduling
Yeah,
for some of these
appointments and
businesses
all,
that need to
you
know.
open up.
for sure. I hope that she does. I'm guessing she would just because she did it the first time already. Will it be as formal as a pre-scheduled 6:30 thing. I don't know. Will it be just a Facebook Live again with, I don't know, either way. I hope she does, because there are different, I mean, stuff reopens in phase 2, but talking about how there would at that point be a 30-person limit and that kind of thing, all of that still needs to be addressed. It's, I
Right.
don't know if she'll decide to do it or not, though.
How are you doing on the tracking part of the,
Good, yeah, so far I'm still impressed with the cases that we have had. We've been able to track them pretty easily. So a couple counties we're working with, just from contacts being from other counties and doing that kind of stuff, but everybody's been really good. The database we use, we can just share the case with those counties, so they have the same access that we do. So it's actually been really smooth for us.
are you finding any common threads in your tracking?
Just with like our cluster cases, the few that we don't have any known exposure for, we can't find anything for them other than they've just been out in the general public, and they are not telling us at least where they've been that we could think, oh, aha, there's the place.
Mhm.
So are you going back a whole week then?
So if the person has symptoms, which everybody has symptoms right now, we go 48 hours prior to their symptom onset. So like the perfect scenario is somebody has a cough today and they go in and get tested and it's positive tomorrow, we only have to go back 2 days. If somebody was sick 2 weeks ago and then finally today they got tested, then we're going back 2.5 weeks at that point. Then it gets harder, but we haven't had that.
That can be time consuming.
On wood, that it continues to be that way.
So you haven't seen anything as far as people traveling from the county out to a particular area and back? I mean, there's been no threads
Not
as far as travel or
Mhm.
commonality of locations.
Nope.
Obviously, we have a lot of workers coming in from other counties also.
Yeah, that was our big concern with industry, is if it got in there, how big of an impact that would have on everybody. And we've just been lucky not to have a huge COVID party happen at this point, because that's kind of what it would turn into, is just hope you're safe.
Okay.
So phase 2, that'll be another 2-week
Yes,
process, and then phase 3 will be
2
hopefully,
weeks,
and
and then
like phase 4, we're back to normal.
normal. That's what I was just talking to Judge Clinda about. It's like, what's this new normal supposed to be anyway? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Shaylee.
Thanks, Shaylee.
Yep.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, John Pursue, our planning and zoning environmental administrator. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think we're ready for this variance case. VAR,
Yes, and
go ahead.
to catch you up to speed, at the request of the applicant's agent, this variance request skipped the Board of Planning because of the pandemic. There was no April meeting, and so a variance is coming straight to you all as the Board of County Commissioners.
Okay. Then I will call case number 2020-03. Has a protest petition objecting to the special use been filed, and do the protesters constitute the statutory required 20% of real property owners within the proposed special use area, necessitating a 3/4 majority vote of the board to make a determination on the case?
No protest was supplied.
Okay. I'll ask the board members if any of them intend to disqualify themselves from discussing and voting on this case because they or their spouses own property in the area of notification or have conflicts of interest or a particular bias on this matter.
No conflict.
No. Although we don't encourage such communication, I'll ask the board if any of them have received any ex parte, verbal, written, or digital communications pertaining to this case prior to this hearing that they would like to share with the board and the public.
No.
No. I'll ask the board if they have received copies of the Board of Planning and Zoning, which they have not, since it did not go through there.
Having determined that the members have received the required information, I'll ask the applicant, do you feel you have had a fair and impartial hearing? Obviously, he's not here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let you present this,
Okay.
John.
The request is for a variance from the bulk regulations, structure to property line setbacks and minimum lot size. It's on an existing property in the A1 Agricultural District. The property in question is 169 11th Avenue, Inman, Kansas, 67546. Its current use is residential, and it would continue to be residential. When the property was created, the minimum acreage was 40 acres, and the front yard setback was 50 feet. The lagoon setback at the time was 100 feet. Those are not met by the property. The property is surrounded by agricultural ground on all sides. It has an easement for a driveway to the island of property. The case comes to you all today, and there's just a trustee's deed and a quitclaim deed on file with the registered deeds for the property. And staff is recommending approval of the variance. That's all I have.
Okay, any questions from my commissioners?
John, if the 40 acres requirement was in place at the time that in place at the time of the quick claim deed or of the trustee's deed filed in 2013? It'd been 2013 had been in place. So
Correct.
How come that was filed without the required requirements being met at that point?
Because per the Register of Deeds office, they have to follow a set of conditions, but all those conditions outlie as what a registered deed is expected to accept and process. They don't review deeds against zoning regulations. We initially discussed doing a historic farmstead split for the property, which would have been allowed in 2013. The property owner contacted the neighboring farmer, but they did not have any interest in giving up any of the agricultural ground, especially to the west, because they have a center pivot right on the property line.
Right. So how long has Evan Johnson owned this property?
The 2013 deed.
So he bought it in 2013. Okay. So the quitclaim deed that was filed in 98 took it from Shirling to who then?
Let me check real quick. So the quitclaim deed in 98, Howard C. Shirling and Hilda Shirling quitclaim it to the Howard C. Shirling and Hilda Shirling co-trustees of the Howard C. and Hilda Shirling Family Trust.
So he just took it from himself and put it in the trust then? Okay.
Correct.
All right. So what's Evan Johnson trying to do with it now? Why not just leave it where it's at? Why bother with this?
He is trying to sell it, and he has moved out of the state.
Oh,
So it's unoccupied right now.
I do not know the occupancy. I just imagine what's happened is somebody on the buying side of the transaction wants everything to be in compliance before they're them or their client purchases the property.
Well, there's no listed right of way. This is a landlocked property and has no frontage on the road, so that doesn't meet any of our other parcel requirements.
Correct. A property like this would usually have an easement on file for access to the drive,
Yeah,
but it does not have an easement on file for the drive.
wow,
That's
okay.
a little unusual, isn't it, John?
Yes and no. It depends on the date of the property. Newer properties like this, which would be newer, would be defined as maybe anything late 70s on. More than likely, a deed research turns up an easement under the deeds. But for something as old as this, it's not uncommon for the agreement to just be a verbal or a handshake agreement between the property and the farmer. Or, excuse me, the resident and the farmer.
Okay. Okay, any other questions?
Well, the question I have is, should we approve something that is landlocked without proper
Easement?
easement?
I don't feel comfortable with it.
If I was a banker, I guess I wouldn't want a loan on it either until I knew that I had legal access.
So has there been any attempt to get an easement, John? Do you know?
I do not know. They haven't communicated to me if there has been or not.
I think there needs to be some further discussions.
Well, John, are you comfortable giving them a variance without a legal easement? Do they meet the rest of the requirements with the lagoon and the well distances and so forth on this small of a property? Because they're below the state minimum for sanitation.
Correct. No, they do not because of that center pivot. They can't get the, usually we allow a waiver of 50 feet for a lagoon, especially on an existing property, and it's like at 38 and a half right now, and they can't purchase any more land.
Well, is this something we should do some more research on? To see if he could attempt to get a
I don't know.
easement?
Yeah, I don't know why he couldn't get an easement. That should be easy enough to do. I mean, it's gonna cost somebody, they're gonna have to pay for it.
Can you hear us, John?
Yes, I'm following.
Yes.
So do you want to table it till next Monday and they can have a week to get an easement on file?
Well, that, and the other question is, does the Shirling estate have any, I think it's Shirling that owns it?
Yes.
Do they have any issue with the lagoon being right on their property line?
That I do not know, but we can modify our existing waiver to get written permission from them for it, and I'm assuming they wouldn't because they're the ones that own the center pivot.
Right.
So that wouldn't be a problem for the department to get that.
Well, I think you need to have some kind of a written agreement between the owners that the lagoon placement, et cetera, is acceptable. And also that there needs to be some kind of a legal easement description put in there. I think,
Yeah.
that's my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I think that's the consensus of the commissioners here, that if you could get that, and then would probably present it here next week or next Monday or the next Monday. Well, the next Monday would be off, actually. So,
Correct.
Could you do that for us, John?
That is no problem whatsoever.
Okay, any other questions? Okay,
Thanks, John.
thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good week.
Yep.
Okay, Tom Kramer, Public Works Director, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we're ready for you.
Okay, I've got 3 items this morning. First one being signing the 3 copies of the agreement for the 2020 bridge replacement. King was the low bid on that. Listed 3 structures, which we're all aware of, and this is just a legal agreement between McPherson County and King Construction.
Tom, did you require a completion date on all of this, or how long do they have to get this done?
Each structure has working days listed on it. So if they start one, they've got X amount of days to complete it.
Okay,
I don't think we put an end time frame on it, just in case they were to run into bad weather or to run out of the year, but they have to finish it once they get it started.
obviously the one on Fifth and Mohawk, that's gonna create some problems with the detour. Have you figured that out already?
Yeah, we've had those discussions. We can fill you in on the details on the work session, but
Okay,
we detour those on a paved road, so they probably have to come back to 8th Avenue and go north from there. Generally, the local traffic's going to find their way around, but our detour will be set up so that we detour onto county-maintained roads.
Yeah, under paragraph number 3, once construction has begun, the contractor has 50 working days to clean up and no cleanup days to complete each project. So, and the executed contract complete by December 18, unless the period of completion is extended by the contract documents. So,
we should be covered then.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions on these bids for bridge projects? If not, I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion for the signature of the 3 copies of the agreement for the 2020 bridge replacement by King Construction as presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, Tom.
Okay, the second item, my item B, is to accept the bid for the Bridge 220119. That's the guardrail replacement. L&M Contractors was the low bid. That's located at 22nd Avenue, right there at Iron Horse. They were the low bid at $109,775. There were 2 bidders on the project. And our engineer's estimate was $130,533.
They're at a Great Bend, is that correct?
That's correct. They've done a lot of work for McPherson County.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Chairman, I'll make a motion that we accept the bid for the Bridge 220119 guardrail replacement from L&M Contractors as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, what else you got, Tom?
My item C, is a non-elected personnel and approve the request to replace Whitney as administrative secretary. She quit and took a different job. So I have that position open and would like to replace her.
Has she formally resigned yet, or did she take family leave or something?
She was on family leave, but she worked last week and her last day was Friday.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I will entertain a motion to replace Whitney Moore as administrative secretary.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the Public Works Director replace Whitney Moore as Executive Secretary,
Administrative secretary.
or Administrative Secretary.
Yes.
Yep, I will second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay,
Thank you, guys.
thank you,
Thanks,
Tom.
Tom.
And you'll be out here in about,
20, 30 minutes.
Now,
okay, we'll
Okay,
be ready for you.
all right, thanks.
All right, thank you, guys.
Okay. I think that just about completes everything, doesn't it? Not missing anything. Rick, you didn't have anything, did you? Okay. Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn till
Recess.
or recess till our work session meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we recess to Public Works for Work Center.
Okay,
I will second the motion.
all in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.